Let's make some noise. Come on.
Thank you, Nick Foles. Welcome back, everybody, to the Final Word post-game WBC Championship Game edition here on the Instant Rap Sports Network. Your boy MattyB on the call. Can I say? Tough one tonight. 3-2, Valenzuela with the win. They capture the gold, or the trophy. I don't know what they get. In a game that you can categorize and you can sum up in a very, very small space of time. You know, live by the home run, die by the home run. The offense for the United States is not indicative to this game at all. It's been like this all tournament. It's been feast or famine at the plate. There hasn't been much contact hitting, small ball, whatever you want to say. We can go there. Tonight, the only run scored on a 2-run Bryce Harper home run in the 8th inning that I almost lost my mind over. I could not believe he hit that. But I actually had a really strong feeling going up that he was going to hit it. But that was it. And they've been doing this throughout the tournament. They've been relying on that power bat, and they're just not able to do anything else. And very reminiscent of watching the Phillies play, honestly. Watching Team USA go at it offensively. Very, very similar to how the Phillies attack a game. Live by the home run, die by it. Way too many opportunities that went by the wayside tonight, and they made some pitchers who don't have any business being in the same stadium as some of these players look like they were the next best things, and all that equates to a 3-2 loss. And we're going to break some of this stuff down tonight as we are in a special post-game WBC edition of the Final Word. And I'm torn, man, because the tournament's over, man. It's over. You gotta go back to watching crappy spring training baseball now for a week. But all in all, it was fun. It was fun. We should have won. It was fun. It was fun. Yeah, well, okay. Hello, Joe. How you doing tonight? Good to see you. So let's wrap some. Let's go. Let's get into this game. So Nolan McLean got the nod for Team USA. He was opposed by Rodriguez for Valenzuela. McLean entering this game, second WBC start. He was on the mound for the Team USA loss against Italy. Did not pitch well in that game. Nolan McLean is the young phenom in the Mets system that kind of came out of nowhere around late July last year. Lasted 8 starts, very quality, good 8 starts for the Mets back end of last season. Has got them feeling that they have something special in him. They do. Yeah, he's a good pitcher. Probably not the guy you wanted there, right? I mean, especially when you boast a rotation that had Skubal and Skeens. I'm sure the Tyreek Skubal stuff will start coming down a little bit harder now that, you know, I'm not pinning this on Nolan McLean. I thought he pitched brilliantly tonight in the 4.5 innings that he lasted. Much better than he did against Italy. But obviously in this situation, if you could have war gamed it, you have Skubal going last night or Skubal going Sunday night against the DR, and tonight you have Skeens going, right? Or vice versa. But I'm not laying this on the feet of Nolan McLean. He pitched well. He pitched well enough. 4.5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. They were earned, a walk, 4 strikeouts, and he gave up that home run. He finishes the game with a 5.87 ERA. Opposed, Rodriguez, 4 1/3, 1 hit, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. That was his line. No earned runs, no home runs, no nothing. This is a man who's bounced around Major League Baseball for about 7, 8, 9 years now with 5 different organizations. And he came out there and he had the entire Team USA lineup that we are going to talk about in a second, some of the questionable lineup decisions by De La Rosa. But they had the entire lineup guessing the entire night. Aaron Judge on the night, 3 strikeouts. Kyle Schwarber on the night, 3 strikeouts. 0 for 3, a huge hole in the middle there when your Judge and Schwarber do not hit. He had them 1 step behind the whole game. And somewhat very frustrating. It was very frustrating. But all in all, you know, the pitching matchup was somewhat evened in terms of the quality. Again, I think McLean's gonna. I don't think Nolan McLean should get any unneeded heat tonight. He pitched well. He pitched really well, but a lot better than he did against Italy. And I was very happy with it. But it comes down again. This is like watching the Phillies play. I don't know if anybody else got that same sort of vibe. I'm watching dominant pitching not get supported by any kind of offense. And aside from some heroics in Game 1, maybe some little bit in Game 2. There's been no hitting, and I'm not going to sit here and single out Harper. I'm not going to single out. I am, but I'm not. I ain't going to single out Harper, Schwarber, Judge. But they have not been batting this entire series, this entire tournament. It's been a terrible offensive tournament for Team USA. We kept waiting. When are the bats going to wake up? When is this offense going to figure it out? And I'm not buying the pitching that they were opposed against. These are very mediocre arms. These are second-rate arms. MLB quality arms, yeah, but not good MLB quality arms. There's really no excuse for this. I know the egos were left at the door allegedly by the players in Team USA. I'm not saying that there was somebody they were all clamoring to want to be that guy, but the last, what was it? They beat the DR 2-1, and they scored 2 runs tonight. So their last 4 runs were scored via the home run. That's it. They could not generate any type of other offense other than the home run. Again, where have you heard this before? Dominant pitching supported by home run or bust offense. It's like watching the goddamn Phillies. Very frustrating. And hats off to Valenzuela, man. Hats off to that lineup. They kept pushing, man. They kept getting hits. Thoughts on Harper in the game tonight? Well, best game of the tournament, hands down, Joe. I mean, he comes up in the 8th inning with the opportunity. Game on the line, man. We needed it. Boy, we needed it. And I remember thinking to myself as he's walking up there, I think he's going to hit a home run. And I'm actually thinking to myself, if he doesn't hit a home run, and no, not does he not get on base or keep the inning alive, but if he does not hit a home run, oh man, it's going to be open season, right? So he saved himself a little bit there. It's a magnificent shot, man. Man, he clobbered that ball. But a little too late because he was pretty much a ghost the entire tournament. But we needed him tonight, and this was the thing about Bryce Harper that's bothered me over the past few years. It's not the elite versus not elite. I don't really look at that. You either got it or you don't got it as a baseball player, and I don't think there's much of an argument about the fact that Bryce Harper has it as a baseball player. Of course he does. So to me, it's not elite versus not elite. It's clutch versus not clutch. And Bryce Harper over the past few seasons here in this town has not been clutch. Tonight, he was clutch. And I don't care if he goes 0 for 4, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, as long as he comes up in that clutch moment in the 8th or 9th inning and does something good. And that's exactly what he did tonight. So to me, that's what it really boils down to. I don't buy into this elite, not elite thing. I think that Dombrowski would have been better served if he would have said he wasn't clutch this year versus the elite, not elite. Because we all know, Bryce Harper's an elite baseball player. Of course he is. But coming up clutch was huge. Absolutely huge. Terang and Harper had, but Harper was one of our heroes and we still lost. Yeah, but that was all. I mean, listen, Star Wars. It comes down to me. It's really a snapshot of the entire tournament, right? We've been watching this throughout the last 2 weeks. It's just the offense has been very one-dimensional for Team USA. And again, it's very reminiscent of Phillies fans can probably feel very eerily similar, if similar feelings watching this team play versus watching the Phillies play. They're getting great starting pitching, clutch relief pitching, and getting absolutely no offense. And it's either home run or nothing. And yeah, I mean, Harper came up clutch tonight, but he didn't come up clutch much to the rest of the series. And now the rest of the team was disappeared. And I know Captain America himself is, he started a hot tournament. So did Schwarber. I think they both hit home runs in that first game against Brazil. But and since then, I mean, Judge has been amazing out in the field. But since that first game against Brazil, I mean, it's been pretty much crickets from Judge and Schwarber in the middle of that lineup. And I know a lot of talk going into this game tonight was whether they should slide Harper down to like 6 or 7 hole. Now, the decision on going with Buxton and Smith tonight are interesting. I get it. You know, he was playing the odds there, but this is the championship game, the final game of this tournament, the final game these guys are going to play together. I'm putting all my chips in the middle of the table right now. I don't think that Smith should have been starting. I mean, if you're riding that hot hand of home run or nothing, I don't know why Cal Riley, even though Cal Riley has literally not had a hit in this entire tournament, but I'd still be all in with Cal Riley at this point. And same thing with PCA. PCA's been hot. Again, we'll probably end up talking about some bad managerial decisions by DeRosa, especially with that offensive lineup. I was questioning a bit. Again, Riley has not had a hit in this entire tournament. Riley's been a ghost. So maybe you can kind of give me that. But PCA, why wasn't he starting? Why wasn't PCA starting? I don't get that. When the next WC DeRosa will not be manager again. Yeah, I don't think he will. And honestly, we don't know when the next WBC will be because of the CBA problem with the MLB. They're going to have to renegotiate that with the new CBA. It would be, if they're following the timeline, it would be in 2029, but we'll wait and see. But no official word on the next WBC yet because of the CBA expiration of MLB. So that'll be part of the CBA renegotiations. But I don't think Mark DeRosa will be the manager. I think that, I'm not going to blame this and, the nonsense earlier in the week or the Italy stuff. I think they would have been better served. And I don't know. I was defending him. I ain't gonna lie. I was defending DeRosa in his in-game managing ability. When you have a lineup like that, it's pretty hard to screw that up. But the Italy thing and then tonight's lineup, I don't know. But I think they need an actual manager, right? But it's hard. It's hard to pull an actual manager, especially if he's active, away from his team during spring training. I mean, not that it can't be done, but that's a hard get. But I agree. DeRosa needs to be out. MP says Sixers down by 30. That's breaking news, all right. What do I think of Hollywood Brown? Yeah, whatever. He's filling out the roster at this point. Is anybody really excited about Hollywood Brown? I mean, he's probably not going to get used much. It's filling out the roster. Or maybe he will. Maybe this is the prelude to the A.J. Brown trade. I don't know, Star Wars. We're talking baseball here, man. I'm depressed about this game. I don't want to be depressed about the Eagles. All right, so 3-2 is your final. Let's get back into the game here. We went over the pitching lines. Let's talk about Team USA's lineup. Again, we mentioned a little bit. Pete Crow Armstrong not in the starting lineup, and neither was Cal Riley, as Will Smith and Buxton got the starts. Up top of that lineup, 1 for 3 was Witt with a walk. Bryce Harper, the hero of the night for Team USA, 1 for 4 with 2 hits, and 2 RBIs. How can he be 1 for 4? I'm sorry, 2 for 4. 2 for 4 with 1 hit and has scored a run. Witt was 0 for 3. So sorry about that. Judge 0 for 4 and 3 strikeouts. Schwarber 0 for 3 with a walk and 3 strikeouts. Bregman, what the hell is Bregman doing batting 6? 0 for 3. Gunnar Henderson came in a little bit later on and pinch hit for Bregman. He went 0 for 1. Roman Anthony 0 for 3 with a walk. Will Smith 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Bryce Terang was 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Byron Buxton was 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Pete Crow Armstrong came in. He went 0 for 2 in the game. And there's your line for Team USA. On the other side, Valenzuela, Ronald Acuna was 1 for 3 with a walk. Garcia was 0 for 3 with the RBI. Lucerize 0 for 3 with a walk. And then he was lifted for a pinch hitter in Sanoja. That 1 for 3, though, or that that he got on base with a walk, and then he was able to. They got lifted in late, and they got this stolen base there. Contreras would come in to actually replace him at the end of that inning. He never got to bat. Eugenio Suarez, huge hit at the end of the game, the double to spring it open for Valenzuela 3-2. He was 1 for 4 with an RBI and 2 strikeouts. Gleyber Torres 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Tovar was 2 for 4. Abreu 1 for 3. Salvador Perez 1 for 4. And Jackson Churro was 0 for 3. And there's the your offensive numbers for both teams. Of course, Team USA, 2 runs on 3 hits, and the Venezuelans 3 runs on 6 hits. So, man. Team USA also was left 4 runners on base in this game. No double plays. Yeah, I mean, for 0 with runners in scoring. They never got a runner in scoring position. Let that sink in. Team USA never got a runner in scoring position this entire game. They never got anybody by advanced to second. They had one stretch of time where they had 3 straight 2-out hits in the inning, but they could never get anybody past second base. The only time a runner got past second base was on the Harper home run when he knocked in Witt, who was on first. 0 for 0 was Team USA with runners in scoring position. Valenzuela was 1 for 5. And this game was, again, so reminiscent of watching the Phillies. So, no, they don't give out medals for this. This is a trophy. I don't know what the second place team gets, Star Wars, so I'm not going to speak about it. But they don't get medals. It's a gold trophy they get. So, but I don't know if they get something for that. Keller pitched a great inning, and you ain't winning with 3 hits. No, you're not. Now you're not winning with 3 hits, and you're also not winning with going 0 for 0 with runners, not getting anybody in scoring, not getting anybody past first base. Pathetic offense. And again, it's not indicative to this game. It's been like this for the entire tournament. You know, once they got past some of the B-level teams and they got up to the higher level, like I guess we could probably start with Mexico. From that point on, it's been tough offensively for this squad. They haven't been able to get anything going. No, consistent offense. And tonight was no different. Only a goddamn 2-run home run from Bryce Harper stopped them from losing this game tonight, 3-0 or 2-0, whatever it would have been. I guess it would have been 2-0, right? But yeah, I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow, man, because now I got to get back, and now I got to watch spring training baseball for the next 2 weeks, and then you got to get into the mode of the MLB season. I told you this void. I felt the same way at the end of the Olympics because I had to go back from watching what Team USA did to the Flyers hockey, and now I got to do this with the Phillies. So, not a way you want to do it, man. Not a way you want to end it. Didn't know Venezuela qualifies. 2020 Olympics. Weird that this team had to qualify. Well, no. So everybody has to qualify. So the way they're doing it, MP, with the Olympics returning in 2028, only 8 teams. It's like a tester, I guess. There's only 8 teams going. So what they're doing was they were using the WBC to provide a qualifying round for 2 teams. So the 2 highest placing America teams from either North or South America got the bid into the Olympics. So Venezuela and the Dominican Republic got the bid to go to the Olympics because they were the 2 highest seeded or highest placed and highest finishing America teams. The United States has got an automatic bid because of their host country. So we don't need a bid. We're the host country because it's in LA. So Venezuela and the Dominican Republic qualified for that through that. Now the rest of the field is going to be selected through tournaments in Asia, Europe, and the Oceania regions of the world over the next 2 years. And then they're going to send send the rest of the teams to the Olympics. So that's the reason why they had to. Everyone's got to qualify for this because we're literally starting out from scratch by sending teams back to the Olympics. So only 8 teams are going. And so far now, 3 of those 8 have been identified. It'll be the U.S., Dominican Republic, and Venezuela. The rest of the 5 will be decided through tournaments around Europe and Asia and the Oceania regions of the world over the next year and a half. So that's how that's working. But yeah. And I'm happy about that too, because now, of course, we don't know about our in terms of MLB's participation in the summer games. It's not been decided, obviously, because of the CBA situation. But the Olympics have cleared the way. The Olympic Games schedule for the baseball event is from 13 July to 19 July, which sneakily falls right into the All-Star break, right there, right in that All-Star break window. So obviously that's probably done purposely to entice Major League Baseball from participating. But I'll be on board, and I'd be actually really disappointed if they didn't let them do it, honestly. But more to follow on that. But yeah, so tonight was interesting. 2029 is the next WBC. I know, but I don't know if it's official. I don't know if that's official because there's no CBA right now, Star Wars, right? We don't have a CBA in place. So right now, if they're scheduling one in 2029, that's great. But when I say is I don't know when the next one is that the major leagues are going to participate in, because there's no CBA in place right now to support that. But yeah, by the letter of the law, 2029 would be the next World Baseball Classic. Let's go back into the box scores. I want to beat myself to death with this. Now, of course, Venezuelan pitchers struck out Team USA batters 10 times in this game. 10 times, and it seemed like in real crucial events. That final inning where Schwarber strikes out, and that was just a putrid display by the USA for trying to generate any kind of runs. And then, we can go to the Whitlock top of the 9th. Was he the best guy to go there with him? I mean, Whitlock was been pretty good in this tournament. Left a pitch out there that he was able to send to the gap. And I honestly thought that inning was dictated by the Arise walk in the top of the 9th when he walked Arise, and then they took him out for the pinch runner. Then he stole second, and there was a controversial play. Wasn't close. He was safe. They weren't going to overturn that. That was pretty controversial in that game. And then Team USA did something really stupid, I thought, later that inning. When Eugenio Suarez, I guess, forgot about how many outs there were and was going from the pop-up in the infield, and he just kind of busted off the third base. And then they're like, go back. So he slides into third, and then he hops back up, and he touches, or he comes off the bag, touches third base, and kind of slides his foot off it and runs back to second. I don't know why the USA challenged that. That was obvious he didn't do that. It was obvious that he touched his foot on the bag. I don't know why they would have challenged that. And I remember thinking, you're wasting your final challenge on that call. And you may need that challenge at some point later on. I understand he's trying everything he can, but you got to be smarter than that, man. That wasn't even like, I mean, I get it. The view ain't the best from the dugout, but I mean, any fool could see he touched it. Any fool could see that. Third baseman was standing right on the bag. So I don't understand why the challenge was, but I understand. I understand why the challenge, but you got to be smarter than that. I definitely get to challenging the play at second. There was, I don't know, there wasn't enough evidence to overturn the call on the field, but yeah, you can make a case for it that it was sort of a banger. But yeah, I didn't understand some of that at the end, but frustrating loss tonight. Demoralizing loss. At least we didn't lose to Canada. And at least technically it stays in this continent, right? Or in this part of the world. I know it's in South America, but at least it's on this part of the world. It's not going back to Asia. We got rid of Japan. And ultimately, the best team won. Ultimately, the team that did the most tonight won. So I'm not going to sit here and say that Team USA was cheated or anything. They just came up small. And now the questions need to come up, and I don't know if the questions will. I mean, we've talked about this on this show many times, about this home run or bust mentality and about building teams like this. And I've also mentioned that in the lower ranks of baseball around the country, they're getting away from that. They're building hitters again. We're not building home run hitters. We're building hitters. Would Team USA been better served with better, different types of players? I get the Harpers, the Schwarbers, and the Judges of the world. But would they been better served with actually finding better fundamental hitters to play in a tournament like this? Home run hitters are notoriously streaky hitters, and you're asking a home run hitter to come in off the street cold in the beginning of spring training and pick up where they left off mid-season, and that's a hard get, especially when they're a one-trick pony like that. Would Team USA and USA Baseball, and I don't know how much USA Baseball has a hand in any of this. It's not like hockey, where USA Hockey controls all of it. I don't know how USA Baseball, they don't control it like USA Hockey does, but I don't know who was the driving factor around selecting this team. But perhaps when we look at the next roster in 2029, we look at more of professional hitters instead of like big names to put people in the stands. So maybe a lesson was learned tonight by Team USA. Like we watched, yeah, exactly. It was like watching the Phillies in a W. It was like watching the Phillies game. Star Wars. I agree. I 100% agree. You had the same feelings. I had the same feelings watching this game with the same hitters too. Right? You got above average to dominant starting pitching, and you got absolutely nothing offensively, and just terrible at bats. At bats were where they were baffled, man. The pitching staff of Team Valenzuela that included what? Who were the flamethrowers they tossed out there? Rodriguez, Bizarro, Buto, and Zerpa, and Machado, and Palencia. We're all just one step ahead of everything that Team USA thought they were going to throw them. And again, these are not names that are hanging in Cooperstown, right? A lot of these guys are younger players. A lot of these guys are guys that bounced around Major League Baseball and that are currently bouncing around Major League Baseball. And they made Team USA look stupid. And not just them. I mean, the DR staff did it. Italy did it to them. I mean, a lot of teams have been doing it to them this entire tournament. Kyle Schwarber and USA were given the silver medals after losing to Venezuela. Kyle took his off before leaving the field. I didn't know they got silver medals. I thought they just gave him the trophy and that's it. Good. Did they get silver medals last time when they lost to Japan? I don't remember that. No, they do get medals. I thought it was a trophy. So much I pay attention to that part. Good. I would take mine off too. Just be pissed off. Just be pissed off, man. But again, hats off to Team Valenzuela. I mean, they had a golden opportunity, right? Japan was knocked out. Best two teams left in the tournament were playing each other. They just came up small. Or I should say they came up big in a lack of small ball. Right? I guess probably that's the best way to explain it. And very reminiscent of watching a Phillies baseball game. Watching home run hitters after home run hitters come up, swinging for the fences, and providing absolutely no other offense than that. It was very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I think Team Venezuela were given $2.5 million from. Really? Is that like a check you get? Each player gets that amount of money? But congratulations to them, man. They earned it. They deserve it. They beat the best. And pisses you off even a little bit more to think about the way they did it. They played last night. Venezuela played last night. And they were coming into this game with some severe. So, and again, this is what we're managing might come to it. You know, they had to go deep into their pen last night in their game, right? They burned through a lot of pitchers. And USA was up there hacking away, man. They weren't taking many pitches. And, you know, credit Venezuelan pitching staff or pitchers for getting out early on and ahead in counts. But they weren't able to. I mean, if we could have got into that bullpen a little bit more, we might have been able to wear them down, but we just couldn't get into it. I mean, the pitchers were just completely on their stuff, and they were throwing stuff by the hitters. It was just, again, maybe another managerial problem. Maybe another managerial problem is that, you know, hey, guys, they got depth issues tonight in their bullpen. They got a lot of pitchers not available. We didn't have Mason Miller available, right? And we didn't play last night, but maybe there should have been more pitches taken, but they were throwing everything around the plate, man. They were just gassing it by them. And they played last night. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Trump is giving back to Caesar. If they went extra innings, both teams were going to have pitching problems. Yeah, we could help, but I was hoping to get into that bullpen a little earlier. Like Rodriguez set the tone, and I was like, oh no, you know, he's out there freaking mowing them down early. If they could have got him out in the third inning instead of the fourth inning, we might have been better off. But I knew then, I was like, God damn it, here we go. But you're right. If we would have gotten extra innings, it would have been probably kind of a crapshoot about where everything would have come out. But Team USA was unable to do it. You know, a gutsy comeback though. Bryce Harper again. I'll say it. I'll be the first to say it. Came up clutch for the first time in a minute in any game that I've seen him play since I think since the 2022 season. Comes up clutch with that big home run in the 8th inning. And it was a shot, man, no doubt about it. Deep center field. But they come back. Whitlock was kind of all over the place. Gives up that walk to a rise. They pull him for a pinch hitter. Smith is unsuccessful in throwing out the pinch runner, trying to steal second. They challenged the call. They lost it. 100% supported that challenge. You never know. And then Eugenio Suarez with the big double, the big gapper there. And that's all it takes. And when you can't score more than 2 runs, 3 runs are going to do it. And that's how you have 3-2 Valenzuela with the win. And as reported by Star Wars, and I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I guess they did get medals. I could have sworn it was a trophy. But now, where does this leave the national taste? So USA Hockey did it, right? Do the baseball players now feel like second-class citizens? They couldn't do it. Is this demoralizing? Does this send you people off into the season with a bad taste in your mouth? I mean, I think when I look at this tournament in a big picture, I really enjoyed it. I wish they could do something like this every year. And there's people out there talking about, well, you have like 3 different camps. You got the ones who don't support this at all, don't want to see their players playing in this tournament at all, regardless of whether it's in spring, mid-season, or at the end. You got those who now want to replace the WBC and move it to the All-Star break. And then you also have the camp that says, well, we should play it in the fall after the season. I think it's perfect where it's at. I think in the big picture of baseball, when you have a tournament like this to start the thing out, it captures. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a new fan or 2 out there that became baseball fans because of this tournament, and now they have a whole MLB season to look forward to, right? So I kind of look at it in that aspect. I think it's perfect where it is. I think there's too much made over, these hitters and these pitchers being cold, not being ready, not being in midseason form. What do you think they do? Step off the mound in October and then never pick up a baseball again until March or February? No. I mean, they're working out all winter long. Now, granted, they're not throwing 70, 80 pitches a day. I understand that, or every 70, 80 pitches every 5 days. I get that. But it's not like they're coming in completely cold. And yes, it does take some time to completely stretch out. I get that. But I don't buy it to the extent of, well, I'm not going to have a tournament because of it. And the whole thing about the injuries. Listen, I know there was a lot made in the broadcast tonight about major league teams calling today, both Team USA and Venezuela, saying, hey, he's not pitching tonight, or he can only pitch 40 pitches, or he can only go 2 innings, or this guy's not playing. I know there was a lot of those phone calls being taken by those teams today, and I get that. I understand that. Ultimately, it's a business, and these teams want to get their people ready for the season. But to me, it was great. It's a great way to get the baseball season started. And it's a little bit of a sour note that we lost again. Not only did we lose, we lost again in the championship game again. But congratulations to Ranger Suarez, gold medal winner for Team Venezuela. It perfect in spring training. Yeah, I think it is too. Get you going. But Team USA loses tonight 3-2 to Venezuela. Second straight trip to the championship game. Second straight loss for the Americans. This time it was the Venezuelans. Back in 23, it was to Japan. Bryce Harper, the hero of the day. I mean, if you want to take the big storylines of this game, let's go over them. Pitching. Venezuelan pitching was just amazing tonight. Or was it the USA hitting that was, once again, not good? The offense for the United States was prototypical of the type of players they had on it. And it's not just for this game. It was this way for the entire tournament. A home run or nothing mentality, lack of small ball, lack of patience at the plate. It was go big or go home all tournament. And again, very similar to watching the Phillies play. And for those Phillies fans out there, you know what I mean. For the Americans, the pitching was, again, a stellar point of the tournament. Nolan McLean comes back after not a good start against Italy. Much better. Does give up the 2 runs, but still, you have an offense that you have behind you. You should be able to overcome 2 runs. But he does well. He pitched really well. And Bryce Harper, Mr. Clutch in the 8th inning with the 2-run shot to tie things up after the Bobby Witt walk. And not much has been talked about that. That was a masterful at bat by Bobby Witt. That was a patient at bat that has not been something you've seen all tournament. Yeah, Bobby Witt took a lot of pitches there, and he worked that good walk. And Bryce Harper came up clutch. So the talk about Bryce Harper being elite or not elite, I think that's not correct to say that. Bryce Harper is an elite baseball player. The question for me has always been whether or not he's been clutch or not clutch. And lately, he has not been clutch. But in this game, he was. It was nice to see that. And maybe that's more of a positive that we can take from this tournament. He was clutch in this game tonight. It wasn't clutch in the tournament, but when it really mattered tonight, he came out big. And maybe that's something he can build off of as he returns to spring training and we get the season going. Questionable managerial decisions for Mark DeRosa. Both Cal Riley and PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, were not in the starting lineup. And Alex Bregman got the nod as well over Gunnar Henderson. So, a couple decisions now, obviously going with the numbers on those calls there. But when you're in a championship game, I'm going with the faces of MLB. I'm going with the SMLB, the stars of Major League Baseball. I'm going with Pete Crow Armstrong in center. I'm going with Gunnar Henderson at third. I'm going with Cal Riley behind the plate. You know what? Whatever. Sue me. I'm not sitting those guys. And listen, Cal Riley was dreadful this tournament. You got a hit. Gunner's been PCA's been on fire, right? So again, I'm not playing Buxton over PCA. I'm not playing old man Bregman over Gunner, and I'm certainly not going Will Smith over the big dumper. Now, Will Smith also gave up that wild pitch that kind of took things a little bit, that opened up sort of an inning for Valenzuela, but I'm not really bagging on his defense. It's more of a offensive thing. But so some questionable decisions from DeRosa as far as his lineup was. Defense was good. Yeah, it was good. DeRosa's like Rob Thompson. Yeah. I might believe you on that one. But all right, we are about 42 minutes into the show. I'm not going to stay on much longer. This was more of a post-game show than anything else, and then a final word. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 to do the final word. But here's the schedule for the rest of the week. Clear the Ice will return tomorrow, along with the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. I will be on the call for Clear the Ice. So you'll have me at 9 o'clock for Clear the final word, and then I'll be back sometime after midnight to do Flyers and Ducks. Thursday, you'll have the final word, and then Mike Lara will be with you with post-game Flyers and Kings. The Philly Friday Frenzy with Big Al on Friday, and then everything else that's left on the network. And the big show on Sunday at 5 p.m., the Fightins Final Season 5 premiere episode, our 2026 Phillies preview show. Make sure you're there. And then at 10 o'clock on Sunday night, see that time change? 10 o'clock. The final word will return to its 10 o'clock time slot on Sunday, and we'll stay there until probably after the baseball playoffs, and then return to 9 o'clock. So we're going to our summer hours starting on Sunday. So please take notes. And again, here's your Clear the Ice schedule. Me tomorrow, Mike on Thursday, and Mike on Saturday, and all the greatness that is the It's a Wrap Sports Network. And the final word, the World Baseball Classic has ended. 3-2 is your final. Team Venezuela beats Team USA. Bryce Harper was the man of the hour for Team USA in the loss, a big 2-run homer in the 8th to tie the game. But then that's all the offense they had the entire game. Eugenio Suarez with a big double in the top of the 9th to give, well, big walk, stolen base, and then the double by Suarez to give Venezuela the 3-2 lead. And they would go on to hold on and take gold. I thought it was a trophy, but take gold. Is it a medals and a trophy, I think, maybe? I've seen the trophy. I've physically seen it. But they take the gold. USA gets the silver. And now 2029, by definition, is the next tournament. But whether or not MLB will participate in that remains to be seen, as the CBA has to get worked out. So stay tuned for that. But one final note before I leave you tonight, and it is kind of with the WBC hate brigade, right? We talked a bit about it a second ago about people wanting to sort of switch it around different times of the year or different parts of the season. Someone in the All-Star break, someone at the end of the season, someone here in spring. But I'm directing this now to those who don't want it at all. And I'm also directing it to those who didn't watch it, or who claim that they're baseball people, but didn't watch this. First of all, in my opinion, you're not a baseball person if you didn't watch this tournament. And I'm not saying you were glued to this TV every pitch of every game, like I was, but if you did not take a stock in what was happening, at least with Team USA, then you're not a baseball person, in my opinion. You're really not. And if you are not able to talk about this tournament intelligently because you didn't watch it, you're just not a baseball person. And that's okay. I mean, I'm not claiming that you're something wrong with you, but you're just not a baseball person. And for those who want to get this tournament and get rid of it because of, what do I hear? Well, because I don't want my players to get hurt, or I don't want this to happen to my guy, or you're just not a sports person. you've never probably played competitive sports in your life, because to tell a player you can't go represent your country, I mean, I would never be able to do that as a general manager or as a coach. And a player to be told he can't go and represent his country, regardless when the game is played, when the tournament is, where it's at, whatever. I would have a lot of disrespect for players who don't want to do that, which then leads me to Tariq Skubal and the big story there about him leaving after one start, basically preparing himself for his big contract year, and then returning tonight to be just part of the group, not on the roster or anything. Can't pitch, not available, but he wanted to be part of the festivities for the final game. I lost a lot of respect for him in this tournament. I initially thought, or I originally read some reports that it was the Tigers that were holding him back, but then I found out it's not. It's him. Him and Boris, his agent, were holding him back from pitching in this tournament because they want to cash in on a payday. Then you look at somebody like Paul Skeens, who's got really nothing else left to look forward to for the rest of the season. After this, left everything you had out there for Team USA. So I lost a lot of respect for Skubal, and I picked up a lot of respect for Paul Skeens. And if the Phillies can find a way to make it happen, and I don't care what the price would be, because he's going to be, I would imagine starting this year, he's going to be a hot topic about the future of Paul Skeens with the Pirates. I don't care what the price is, man. Get this guy here. He'd be a stalwart in the top of your rotation for at least 10 years, and we can rebuild around him. So do what you got to do to get Paul Skeens here. A lot of respect. But Team USA falls tonight 3-2. They lose the tournament to Team Venezuela. And that's all I got to say about it. Thank you for joining us on our late night kind of final word, more of a fight and final post-game vibe to it. But thank you for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow at my regular 9 o'clock time. We'll get back into what's happening around the Philadelphia sports world and everything else, and finish up the week strong on Thursday. So you guys have a great rest of your night, and I'm out of here.